Hi friends! I know these days you're spending a lot of time at home, sitting on the couch, watching your favorite videos, and even talking to your friends on the phone. You might even be doing some work online. Have you ever thought about how you would do all these things without electricity? Not too long ago, things were very different. Nowadays, electricity is one of the most important services. I'm Natalie, Corporate Communications Officer at BEL Electricity Limited. Have you ever wondered what happens behind the scenes every day so that you can do the things you need to do? There are so many reasons why you get safe and reliable electricity inside your home. In the coming weeks, I'll take you on an electrifying journey. Join me as we go live on Facebook. Let's go behind the scenes to find out about the whats and whys of energy. Follow BEL's Facebook page to learn more about the show and how you can participate.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another exciting season of the Whats and Whys of Energy. I'm Natalie Novello Palacio, and I will be your host again this season. I'm really excited on how we have missed you all, and we've missed sharing so much valuable information about the energy sector with you. So today we're going to jump right into it, and we're so excited, like I said, to bring you so much more information about what it is that we do every day or some of the things that you want to know. And of course, with your participation, we get to expand on so many of those things that we need to get to you all. But before we move on and we meet our guests for today, let's take a look at some of the topics that we touched during our last season, some of which we will be expanding on this season, and some of the new things we'll be bringing to you are based on some of what we learned last season. So let's take a look at that.
How is electricity sourced, transmitted, and distributed? We'll explain how we get power to you safely for your everyday use. BEL purchases most of the power you use from independent power producers in Belize and Mexico. The energy we provide to customers comes from a mix of renewable and non-renewable sources such as hydro, biomass, fossil fuel, solar, and a combination of sources from CFE. More than half of the energy produced in Belize is from renewable sources, making Belize #1 in the Caribbean and #2 in all of North and Central America. So how does this power get to your home? High voltage electricity moves for long distances from where it is generated along transmission lines that deliver to substations countrywide where the voltage is reduced. The lower voltage electricity is then transported by power lines to transformers on your neighborhood utility poles. The transformer further reduces the voltage so that electricity can make its way into your homes through your meters. How are electricity rates determined? The Public Utilities Commission, PUC, sets electricity rates on a cost recovery basis. BEL projects the amount of electricity customers will need and the cost of buying and distributing it. Together, BEL and PUC use these projections to do a full tariff review every 4 years and annual review. The public is informed of these proceedings, so they have a say. The rates approved by PUC reflects the total cost of BEL to serve customers divided by the entire amount of electricity used by customers. If projections are too high and result in overcollection, rates are reduced going forward. When projections are too low and result in undercollection, rates are increased in future tariff review periods to recover losses. If we buy power from producers that cost less, we can charge less. This is why we are focused on securing new, cheaper sources of energy like solar power. What other solutions do we plan to introduce soon? AMI or smart meters. These provide real-time information on consumption and empowers customers to manage their bills. solar energy. We are looking forward to adding solar generation to our mix and offer rooftop solar PV to reduce costs and improve reliability. Electric ground transportation. We aim to convert 50% of ground transportation in Belize to electric. By learning how to read your meter, you will better understand how you consume energy and how your monthly bill is determined. Manage your energy use by conserving wherever possible. We continue to serve our customers by keeping you updated and making it easy to reach us anytime from anywhere, whether it's getting information about our program, connecting new service, providing options to pay your electricity bill, or reporting a hazard. We are always here for you.
We are always here for you, and we are here for you today to look at some of the information on electricity rates. So today's topic will be based on understanding the rates and understanding how those reflect in your bill. One of the important things that we saw in that video was how the rates are set. And of course, as you may have noticed, and as we have been always telling our customers, the rates are set by our regulator, the Public Utilities Commission, based on the equation that you are seeing on the screen, the total cost divided by the total electricity used. And one of the things that contributes to that total cost is the cost of power, or the rates that we purchase power at. And so since the rates from Mexico have decreased, then it has caused a decrease in electricity rates in a way, because we're paying less for that. And so if you heard in this January of this year, rates were decreased, and that's what we're going to talk to our guests today about, the decreased rates, and take a look at what they look like now and how those transfer back into your bill. But once more, before we get to meet our guests, which we're excited to get to meet already, let's look at how better we can understand our bill so that we can transition on how we can understand getting at the actual total of that bill. So let's take a look at that.
Your monthly electricity bill is calculated based on the total energy used by all electrical appliances and devices in the household. Knowing how much energy your household uses can help you manage your monthly bill. Let's look at how to read your monthly electricity bill. The name, mailing address, and the meter number of the account holder can be found on the cover and inside of your bill. At the top of your bill, you will see your last and current meter readings, total usage of electricity per kilowatt hour, which is the current reading minus the last reading, and the total cost of your bill. On the right side, you will see your previous balance and payments made within the last billing period. Directly below shows the consumption cost with GST and other charges calculated to give you the total amount due. You will also find the due date for your bill. By keeping track of your energy usage and increasing your energy efficiency, you can conserve energy and save more.
So to help us expand on all that information, and without further ado, I present Ms. Melissa Foreman. She is the Customer Relations Supervisor in the Customer Service and Relations Department. Mel, welcome to the What's and Whys of Energy.
Hi, thank you, Natalie, and good morning to you and all our viewers tuned in at the moment.
Okay, Mel, so let's get right into it, and let's give customers some information that they may have been yearning to get from us. So the rates, as I mentioned, the rates have decreased, but I know that different customers are categorized differently. So it's important to understand that not all customers will get the same bill per se or the same calculation. So can you tell us about those categories of customers that BEL has?
Okay, no problem. So we have 6 categories a customer may fall within. Those would be, or these are the 6 main categories, I would say. Our social accounts, which are customers who uses up to 60 kilowatts on average monthly. We have our residential accounts, these are for customers who, for the most part, use the energy or the consumption for residential purposes. These are our homes that we dwell, a household dwelling. And for the actual consumption use, it will be up to 2,500 kilowatts on average monthly. There's our commercial one accounts, and this category is for our small businesses, our mom and pops, little restaurant or grocery stores or ice cream shops, where it is that these customers also use up to 2,500 kilowatts on average monthly. Then there's our commercial two customers, and these are larger businesses that are for manufacturing, agriculture, construction companies who uses above 2,500 kilowatts on average monthly. Finally, we have our industrial customers, industrial one and two customers, and these are even larger manufacturing and construction organizations who the energy is provided directly from our main power lines. And these actual organizations or companies actually invest in the infrastructure that is needed for us to provide power to their location. Of these 6 categories, we have our residential customers, who is our largest, and have approximately or covers approximately 76% of our customers in our customer base.
Okay, so now on the screen, I am seeing a comparison there of the rate changes for the residential customers. Can you go into that for us?
Sure. So each category has rates, 3 rate blocks that it is that we calculate a customer's bill. And if we're looking specifically at larger of our categories, the residential customers, we see the 3 blocks clearly identified, 0 to 50 kilowatts, which the previous rates were at 34 cents and the new rates are now at 33 cents. Our second block under the residential customers is between 51 and 200 kilowatts use. That was previously calculated at 40 cents per kilowatt and now is calculated at 39 cents per kilowatt. And lastly, any consumption that is used above 200 kilowatts is calculated at 44 cents and previously it was at 45 cents. So these are the 3 blocks that would be included in the actual calculation of the bill for our customers.
Okay, it's interesting that you mentioned those blocks because for a person like me, we're hard with math. It kind of leave it difficult to understand, you know. So maybe you can go into explaining to us how these blocks work when calculating the bill.
Okay, sure. So definitely, like I said, there are the 3 blocks that will be used to be calculating a customer's bill, and a customer may fall within only 2 of those blocks if it is that they do not go above that 200 consumption or kilowatts used. So let's, for example, look at a customer who is using 256 kilowatts for a month. The first 50 kilowatts of that customer's consumption will be calculated at 33 cents for a line item total of $16.50. The additional 150 kilowatts to come up to 200 will be calculated at 39 cents per kilowatt for a line item be calculated at $58.50. And the final 56 kilowatts to calculate the total 256 will be calculated at the rate of 44 cents per kilowatt for a line item of $24.64. The total, those 3 amounts are added up for the customer's consumption that is normally reflected on the bill. And in this case, this is for $99.64. Now, if we look at a customer that uses 1 extra kilowatt, it is important for customers to recognize this because, as some may know or may not know, any calculation that is done and if the bill comes up to $100, we are required to charge a customer an additional tax, the GST tax of 12.5%. So let's look again at this one customer that had, or this customer that had 1 extra kilowatt added to see what difference it has on that electricity bill. Again, the same line items are used. The first 50 and 150 is calculated at 33 cents and 39 cents, and those remains the same. Now, the calculation for the 57 kilowatts is calculated again at the 44 cents with a line item for $25.08. The subtotal that we see or that customers recognize as consumption on their bill, in this case, is $100.08. Again, as I mentioned before, once a consumption or a bill is used, charging, it comes up to $100 or more, then we are required to charge GST. In this case, that 12.5% is charged on that $100.08 for a line item of $12.78 for the tax on that bill. That that is also added on the customer's bill, giving a total bill for $112.59. Now, again, that one additional consumption made a difference for this customer's bill, taking it
Wow.
up a little over $13. So
Yes.
this is where we try to encourage customers to understand and recognize the energy that they use daily or on a monthly basis to identify, because the higher the calculation is with regards to your consumption, anything over $100, that amount is what we charge the GST on. And of course, the higher your consumption, the higher the GST, and your total bill will be higher indeed at the end.
Right. So that's amazing, because we have this one customer that can be me, and I consume, I use my fan maybe for couple extra minutes that maybe I went to the shop and I didn't turn it off, and that 1 kilowatt hour extra, which is over the consumption of, of the over the 200. So I'm going to be charged at the highest rate.
Yes, and this
then
definitely
it takes me over 100, and then taking me over 100, now I have to pay GST, and I'm paying like what, $12-13 more for 1 more kilowatt hour. So yes, we have to be very conscious of how we consume energy in that sense.
Indeed.
So when that's calculated, where do we see it again in the bill?
So that is then translated to our bill. And when we look at the consumption, and we try to make sure, like I said, we be very clear, on the bottom right corner of our bill is where we see this actual amounts displayed from what was previously calculated. Your consumption line showing the $100.08. And again, your GST is distinguished separately, so customers can recognize how much more they're charged for GST alone. In this case, $12.78, showing your total amount due for $112.59 at the bottom right corner of your bill.
Awesome. So Mel, like I said, it might still be a little bit difficult for some of us to follow the calculation. So is there anywhere that we can go to actually, when we get our bill and, compare it to what we have on that bill to find out if the calculations were done correctly, if we have any doubts?
Yes, indeed. So we do have where we have calculators on our website, www.bel.com.bz, where we actually have the bill calculator that customers, once they recognize or identify which category they fall in this case, like I said, select a residential, because for most of our customers, it's residential, punched in that kilowatt used for your month that you probably are seeing on your bill itself, and that will show the calculation with the breakdown of the blocks. In addition, we have our BEL 24/7 mobile app that we encourage our customers to download, and all that information can be viewed at their fingertips, and they can do their own calculations to identify their bill for the month.
All right. Well, before we move on, Mel, let's look at some of the things that customers normally ask us because they want to understand a little bit better. And I think one of the things is always, why does a balance or that balance brought forward show on my bill when I already paid? I already paid it. So why does it show?
Yes, we do get a lot of calls and queries about that. There are some instances where a previous balance will be showing on a customer's bill, and that is simply because at the point that we generated the bill on that specific day, a payment may not have come in as yet. A customer may get their bill 5 days after it is that within 5 days after we have calculated the bill, and that payment will not be showing. However, customers can be reassured if it is that they need to call one of our representatives to, be comforted knowing that that payment that they made within those days was reflected, and our system will be showing the actual account or the actual amount owing as well. They have the advantage of having the app that once a payment is made, they will be notified at the payment and show what is that current bill at the moment.
Okay, very nice. So one of the other things I think that's very important to know is how long will the rates be in effect?
Okay, so these recent approvals is for the period 2021 to 2024. As we do a full tariff review proceedings every 4 years. However, every year we revisit the drawing board to see if any adjustment is required to determine if rates would need to be reviewed in one way or the other.
Okay, and of course that's the ARP along with the PUC.
That's
one other question is, we went over it a little bit earlier, but is there a way that I can know how much kilowatt hours I'm consuming daily instead of relying on the bill to come?
Yes, again, that is one of our main features in our BL 24/7 app that we ask our customers to download today if you have not. You can actually monitor your consumption, look at your meter reading, identify what is the reading for that day, compare it to the following day, and subtract one figure from the other to get actually the amount used for that day. That amount alone can be plugged into the calculator so that customers are able to recognize what is the dollar value that is used just for that one day. That's basically what we do on a larger scale. We go from 1 month on a specific day, and then we go the following month to capture another reading. And that same calculation or that same consumption is used when we do our calculation for the different rate blocks to provide customers of what is their consumption value on a monthly basis.
All right. Thanks so much, Mel. And before you go, we'd like to remind customers that although our offices countrywide are still closed due to the pandemic and for safety measures for our customers and employees, we continue to serve you. And you can reach us at any of the numbers that you see on screen or the addresses we're on email. We are on WhatsApp. Each district has a number. You can reach us via the hotline at 0800-235-2273. You can send us an SMS at 235. There are a lot of ways in which you can reach us. So continue trying to reach us if you need to clarify anything with us. We are here for you. We're doing new connections. Whatever you need, we are still here for you. Mel, thank you so much for taking that time out of that very, very, very busy schedule of yours to be here to explain to customers about the electricity rates and how those work in calculating the bill.
Thank you too, Natalie. It was my pleasure, and I do hope that our customers have a bit more insight as what we do day to day to ensure that it is that we provide them with their monthly consumption.
All right, Mel, you take care. Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, so it seems that a lot of you are understanding the information a little bit, I hope, because we didn't get a lot of questions from you all this time around, but I want to encourage that even after the show, maybe there's something that we didn't clarify for you, continue asking in our thread, okay? But today we have a very special little curveball that we wanted to throw into the show, and we want to see how well you were paying attention to us today. And we have a question, and the first person to respond on the equation of how rates are determined will get a prize. How well did you listen? Once again, the first person to respond on the equation of how rates are determined will get a prize. And we'll be monitoring who that first person is, and we'll be announcing the winner later on this week. Well, it's already the weekend. So later on today on Facebook, and the prize, can we bring up the prize? Because we have a prize. There you go. The lucky winner, we're going to have 2 lucky winners. So the 2 lucky winners will consist of the first person to answer that question. And for whoever continues asking questions and things that you want clarified, we are going to put your names into a raffle for another lucky winner of a prize that you see on screen, which consists of a tablet, a speaker, headphones, and of course, our beautiful and good quality promo items from Belize Electricity Limited. So guys, continue asking your questions. We are glad to be here to answer them. Look out for our another show that we have coming soon. And look out for the promo video so you can ask your questions in anticipation, because I know you must have a lot of questions in terms of what we do in the energy sector. And so I would just like to go ahead and thank everybody that made this show possible once again. Season 2 of the What's and Whys of Energy. Thanks everyone there at BEL. Thanks, Melissa. Thank you to Idea Lab for helping us bring this show to you live. And also, I just like to thank all the employees, all the customers who asked questions, and everyone who tuned in today. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next show for season 2.